Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you for today's webinar on stakeholder awareness on annual filing of revised form, AOC-4, MGT-7, and other forms under the MCA-21 version 3. At the outset, I would like to acknowledge the esteemed leadership of CA Babu Ibrahim, Chairman, Corporate Laws and Corporate Governance Committee, for their continued guidance and support in organizing this important initiative. We are honored to welcome Shri Sidhil Sasi, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, who has graciously joined us today to share insights on the revised form and the larger vision of MC21V3. We also extend our gratitude to the technical team of LTI Mindtree, the implementation partner for MCA21V3, for being here with us to provide a comprehensive walkthrough and address the technical aspects of the e-filing process. We are also hopeful that Honorable President ICI might join us during the course of the session to share his address. We look forward to an informative and interactive session with all of you. To formally commence this session, I now request our Chairman, sir, to address the participants, please.
Very good morning to all of you. Honorable Director General of Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Sidhil Sasi. I would say he's the chief architect of the new e-forms filing, and we have been very, very closely interacting with him to make this project quite successful and to enhance the user experience. As all of us know, today Indian economy is the fifth largest economy by nominal GDP and third in terms of purchasing power parity. We have today around 28 lakhs companies, out of which around 18 lakhs companies are active companies, and it's interesting, 95% of the companies are private limited companies. That means that all of us will be actively associated with the audit and filing of some of the private limited companies, and this session is going to be quite important for all of us. And as we know, MCA has launched the MCA 21V3 portal in phases beginning from 2021. Since then, ICA has been actively collaborating with the ministry to ensure its smooth and successful implementation. ICA has played a key role through extensive user acceptance testing of various company and LLP forms, providing real-time support via dedicated helplines and systematically gathering stakeholder feedback to identify and address technical and operational issues. In the past, ICA has conducted and delivered more than 50,000 man-hours of training. Also address our 15,000 stakeholder upgrade. It is a strategic milestone in India's journey towards regulatory modernization, digital governance, and enhanced ease of doing business, as dreamt by our Honorable Prime Minister. Beginning 14th July 2025, the MCA will operationalize the final set of 38 e-forms, including key annual filing and audit and cost audit forms. These reforms marks a significant step in simplifying, streamlining, and future-proofing the corporate compliance ecosystem. The revised MCA 21V3 forms enhance efficiency and clarity in the compliance process. Key features such as intelligent linked filing, auto prefill with the data validation, and increased file size limits simplify submissions. Additionally, the offline mode provides greater flexibility and accessibility. These updates align closely with the government's broader objective of transparency, digitization, and governance simplification, essential pillars of improving India's ease of doing business. Today, we are fortunate to have Sidhil Sasi, who is the Director General of at Ministry of Corporate Affairs, to address us and enlighten us on the process. Sir, we are proud to have you with us. On behalf of all the participants across the country and on behalf of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, let me extend a warm and cordial welcome to Sri Sidhil Sasi. And we have been joined with the complete technical support team. Also from the team to they will be having various sessions to enlighten us how the seamless filing can be possible. And I welcome all of you to this August gathering of stakeholders and professionals across the country. Our Honorable President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, C. Charanjot Singh Namdaji, is expected to join. He has got another meeting going on. Once that meeting is over, he is expected to join us by around 10:30. And I also welcome him in absentia. I welcome all participants who has joined in large numbers across the country to this webinar on e-filing and the new process. With that, may I request Honorable Director General of Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Sidil Sashi, to address the gathering.
There is one technical issue. Sir is trying to join once again. Sidil sir is. I think he got disconnected. So bear with.
The program is being coordinated by the Secretary of the Corporate Law and Corporate Governance Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Seema Jangit. Thank you, Seema, for coordinating this webinar.
Thank you so much, sir. And I would also like to inform the participants that we are organizing this outreach program across India. Sir has joined just now. So, sir, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yes, sir.
My heartfelt gratitude to ICAI for arranging this session. Now, by this time, I think everyone must be aware that we are launching the 38 forms in V3. And after this, V2 will be disabled from 18th of June 2025. And the new set of forms, the major form, that is the MGT-7 and AOC-4, they'll be launched in V3 from 14th July. And we are currently having a UAT is being conducted wherein all three professional institutes are participating, and some of the big companies have also come in and they are helping us in conducting the UAT. The major features of this is that we have an offline utility, which my team will take you through that also. And prior to the launch of V3 on 14th July, we'll have a soft launch on 12th and 13th July, wherein the professional can go and fill up the forms. But the only thing is they will not be able to file it. And you can look at your data also. That is why we have kept 2 days wherein we can, this is a soft launch. Feedback and cooperation is vital for the successful launch of the V3. And I'm looking forward for your cooperation, and I will request my team to proceed with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
I'll start the presentation. Ma'am, just let me know once my screen is visible.
Thank you. Today, we'll now hand over the screen to the technical team to take it forward. Yeah, it's
Ma'am, just let me. Yeah, okay.
I would also request the participants to post in their questions, any queries they have in the question box, and we will take it at the end of the session.
Good morning, all. Good morning, ma'am, and the institute and Civil Sir for giving us an opportunity to make you walk through the enhancements in Lot 3 forms. I'll tell you the agenda of this particular meeting. We'll be telling you the counts, that what are the set 3 forms. We'll also show you the list of the forms. Then all the annual filing forms, what are the enhancements which are there in the form in comparison to V2. Then subsequently we'll go to annual filing forms and their link filing scenarios also. We'll show you the enhancements in audit and cost audit forms. And there are other forms, and then we'll be displaying some of the form layouts, which are new ones. And then we'll be telling you about the functionality with regard to the offline forms. Now, as I told you that we are coming up with 38 forms. Out of that, 13 forms relate to annual filing forms. In V2, there were only 8 forms which were there for annual filing forms. However, in V3, we have got 13 forms because there are new forms which has been launched in V3, which will be part and parcel of the annual filing forms as link filing forms. Then there are going to be audit forms, which are 6 audit forms, 4 ADT forms, and 2 cost audit related forms. Then there are other forms which are also there, which we are coming with along with these 38 forms. And they are 1956 Act forms, though the Act has been repealed. But for yesteryear filings for the companies where there are court cases going on, if they want to do any filing for the yesteryears, they can do it through 1956 forms. uh, I would like to tell the participants out here that the MCA has already come up with a notification for majorly all forms. There are only 4 forms which are left, which are part of the other forms. Otherwise, majorly for all forms, we have already having the notification in place. However, for 1956 form, there won't be any notification by MCA because the forms remains the same the way it was there in 1956. These are the list of the forms. Now MGT-15, GNL1, complaint form, CSR1, leave form, and INC-28 along with CRL1 are the forms which fall in other categories. So as I told you that there are 7 forms which were there in others category. So these are the list of the forms. Then ADT1, ADT2, ADT3, ADT4, CRA2 and CRA4 are audit related and cost audit related forms. Now all the forms in my screen, if you see there is a green outline onto the forms, those forms are the newly launched forms in V3. So ADT4 was already a form out there in V2, but it was a physical form. Now this form has been converted into a web form. Then we have got AOC-4 form, extract of auditor report, consolidated, extract of auditor report, standalone, extract of board report, AOC-1, AOC-2, AOC-4 NBFC, AOC-4 NBFC CFS, AOC-4 CFS, AOC-4 addendum which is CSR2, and AOC-4 XBRL and MGT-7. So as I told you that the forms which has been highlighted in green are the new forms which has been introduced. Extract of auditor's report standalone and extract of auditor's report consolidated are per se not the entire auditor report, since they are part and parcel of a auditor report, so that has been named as extract of auditor report. AOC1 and AOC2 are also the earlier were a physical form, but now and were attached as an attachment with the AOC1, AOC4 form or AOC4 NBFC. However, going ahead, they'll become a link filing for in V3. And similarly, there is MGT-7A also, which was already there, and 12 1956 form starting from 23 AC to 66 form. Now I'll tell you the basic enhancement which has taken place in the V3 form. Like I'll summarize the enhancements which has been introduced in V3, and individual form what are the enhancements which are there. I'll let you know later on. But here, introduction to the web forms, thereby rendering manual efforts. So we already are aware that all the V3 forms which were very limited in V2 now has been converted into web-based form. Similarly, the web-based form has been introduced in annual filing, these 38 form also. Now we have for linkages of forms has taken place, as we are must be already doing the filings of various forms where we are seeing that for with Spice Part B we have got various link form. Similarly with MGT-14 we are linking our MOA and AOA also. SS7 also has got the linkage. So similarly we have introduced the linkage of forms in V3 also. some of the fields which were there and common across all the forms will get pre-filled, and this is for ensuring once is the effort reduction, and second is for ensuring that the data consistency is there. So supposedly at one place if you provide another one data, then the similar expectation is that you should be providing the similar information in subsequent data fields also. So for the convenience of the stakeholder, we have provided the auto prefilling of the common fields. Fields optimization by removal of duplicate or redundant fields. So we have seen that some of the fields which were very much in duplicate in nature, like pre-filling the addresses of the directors or all other pointers, there are certain fields which were repeatedly coming into the forms again and again, and stakeholders were finding a difficulty in filling up that information again and again. So we have removed those duplicate or redundant fields. Minimization of attachment by introducing of fields declaration in form of digital attachments. An example for the existing form, like DR12, we are taking the declaration by director in DR2, which is the part and parcel of DR12 only. If there is an appointment of a director and the director is giving a consent. So similarly, here also, whatever the digital attack, which the digital signatures were required by any other stakeholder or was required to be provided as an attachment, that stands removed. Now it becomes a part and parcel of the form. Addition of the field level validation, thereby minimizing efforts at the time of filing. So what was happening is for the correction of the data and getting the correct data into the MCA system, we have added the field level validations into the system, where when you're while you're doing the filing, then system will throw errors at that point in time only, so that you will be left with less effort while filling the form. The maximum size of individual attachments has been increased to 2 MB, and overall size has been increased to 10 MB. However, there are certain exceptions to it, which I want you to go when we are going through the PPT. Will bring you along to your information that where all we have reduced the validations for the individual size of 2 MB. How the form size will remain as 10 MB in all the in all the form put together. I'll make you walk through the annual filing forms, the enhancements or the changes which we have brought into the annual filing forms. So as we are aware that there are four purposes for which AOC-4 form can be filed. It is the form which has been filed for financial statements and other documents with the registrar. So the processing type has not changed. It is a conditional STP form. The form will be processed in non-STP mode when you are filing the revised financial statement under section 130 or revised financial statement under section 131, or you are filing the form for the when there is a reduction in the paid up capital. However, when you are doing the regular filing of AOC4, then the form will be processed in STP. Now in V3, the user in V2, the stakeholder were downloading the form, filling the form, and then submitting the form. However, in V2, the users are given two options to file the form either through online mode or an offline mode. What will be the offline mode? I'll give you a detailed presentation with regard to that also. The requirement of attaching AOC1 statement for statement of subsidiaries as per section 129 has been removed, and it will come as a link for filing for in AOC4 form. And how this link filing will be initiated, that I'll let you know in the subsequent uh, presentation. Similarly, the requirement of attaching AOC2 details with regard to contracts or arrangement with related party has been removed. Now it has become the link filing in AOC4 form. The requirement of attaching director report has been removed, and it is now come as a web form linked to the AOC4 form. CSR section has also been removed, and the details of the same will either be provided in the CSR2 form from particular years onwards, or it will become a part of the extract of the board report, which you have to do as an attachment in the in V3 AOC4 form. Forms to be filed with mandated linking of extract of board report and extract of auditor's report. So all these AOC1, AOC2, and also CSR2 are conditional forms, conditional link forms. However, for any form, the AOC4 form or AOC4 NBFC, the two link filing which are mandatory are extract of board report and extract of audited report standard. AOC4 CFS and extract of audit report consolidated to be linked to be filed as link filing if consolidation is applicable. Similarly, CSR to be filed as link filing form wherever it is applicable. Various fields related to AOC1 or AOC2. In V2, AOC4 form had the fields related to AOC1, that is, you are capturing the subsidiary related details or the RPT related details or director report or auditor report. They were earlier there in AOC4 form. Now it stands removed because there is a separate link filings which are available for these particular information. Now, companies which are under liquidation or under CRP can file the form. Now, it's a major enhancement which has taken place in B3 because earlier there was a circular which says that the company under CRP or under liquidation were required to do the filing through GNLT. But however, even though the companies were doing the compliances, but their master data was not getting updated. So to weed out that problem, the after the directions from MCA, we have also provided that AOC4 or annual filing forms can be done by liquidators where the company status is under liquidation or under CRP. The form can be signed by IRP RP liquidator. We have also provided a field in GNL1 SR because what has happened is now if you have got an extension of your financial year or filing of this your holding of your annual general meeting or then in that case you can provide the SRN of GNL1 and need not have to provide the details that till when your AGM got extended or till when your financial year got extended. So all the details which has been provided in GNL1 SR when while you were doing the filing of GNL1, then in that case you are provided the information that whatever information is being provided to you while filing GNL1 will be populated for the requirement purposes of the AOC-4. Now, new table got added to capture the secretarial audit qualifications or observations. One more enhancement which has taken place in V3 is that if you are providing the values in balance sheet and profit and loss account details, then whatever information for the previous year, it will be auto populated. However, the stakeholders can proceed ahead and make it they are editable fields. If they want to edit that information, then they can edit it. However, for all practical purposes, the previous year filing information which has been provided by you in previous forms filed will be the information for MCA. But while you're doing the filing, it will be populated but editable. A new column has been added that why you have changed this pre-filled figures from for the previous reporting period has been introduced in balance sheet and profit and loss account and other schedules attached. But this is an optional field. You may provide a reason that why you are changing it or why you are not changing it. Then you can provide the reason for that. But that is a possibility out there in V3. Now the basic check the system will do is that your start date and end date of the financial year period should fall between the period which you have provided in ADT1. Now, if your auditor has been appointed for a particular period, then your balance sheet should or your financial account should fall into that period. An additional facility is being provided to submit AOC4 offline, in which user will provide the basic details in the web form basis, which they can download it a pre-filled Excel and will provide the rest of data in the Excel itself. After completing the Excel, user have to upload the Excel in web form. This is a 17 field though I have take you in a very limited manner, but when I'll go through the PPT, I'll explain you it in more detail. Then there are other enhancements which are there, like pre-filling of data, repositioning of fields, additional data are being added, additional checks has been introduced, and several checks and balance rules have been put in place in compliance with Chapter 9 of the Companies Account Rules 2014. Now there is a AOC-4 form for filing the consolidated financial statements and other documents with the registrar. It remains to be a conditional STP form, and the processing of the form will be based on the parent form if it is done as a link form as well as the independent form. User will have two options to file the form either through online or offline. AOC-4 form can be filed, CFS can be filed as independently only for those SRNs for which AOC-4 was filed in V2. For the rest of the cases, it will be mandatory to file that as a link filing form. If AOC-4 CFS is filed independently, then the extract of auditor's report consolidated is to be filed as link filing form. Share capital raised during the reporting period section has been removed because we have already captured that in the parent form. Segment 3, that is auditor's report section, removed as the same is captured in extract of auditor report consolidated. New table got added to capture the secretarial audit qualifications or observations. Attachments got removed as the required information will now get captured through the link filing forms. Now the point number 8, 9, 10 and 11, though it is a repeated one, but I would like to state it here once again, that the companies which are under liquidation or under CRP can do the filing through IRP RP liquidator. Previous year balance sheet and profit and loss details will get auto-populated and will be editable based on the previous year filing. In this form also we have included the reason for the change in pre-filled figures, which is an option field. Then there are other enhancements like pre-filling of data, repositioning of fields, and several checks and balances have been introduced into the form as per the compliance of Companies Accounts Rules 2014. AOC-4 NBFC, it is the enhancement qua that AOC-4 NBFC is similar to what there in AOC-4 form. The processing type has not changed. Here also we have provided the form through offline and online mode. There'll be an option to attach AOC, or there'll be a requirement to attach AOC-1 and AOC-2, which is for subsidiaries as per section 129, and details of contracts with related party. We have removed it and now it will be filed as a link filing form. Then requirement for attaching director's report has been removed and will now come as a web form linked to the OC4 NBFC. CSR section has been removed and all point up to 11 are the common pointers which we have already discussed in AOC4 form. Similarly, there is going to be addition of GNL1 SRA for the similar functionality what I've explained you earlier. New table has also got added to capture the secretarial audit qualifications or observations. Previous year values, balance sheets, reasons also will be captured. Financial year start date and end date should fall the period between the period 2 entered in field 4.1 in form ADT1. Offline NBFC AOC4 NBFC can also be filed as an offline form. Then there are other enhancements and business rules have been introduced. AOC4 NBFC CFS has got the similar enhancement what we have discussed earlier, but for the making it in more this thing so that the stakeholders will be able to capture these details. I'll just make you walk through all these changes. That the processing of the form has not been changed. The three fields, that is revised financial statement under section 131, will be done through non-STP mode, and the STP mode will be there as there in the parent form. User can file through offline and online mode. All the functionalities which I've told you for AOC4 CFS form will be similarly applicable to AOC4 NBFC CFS also. Now, this is the new form which has got introduced. And what is this form? It is the statement containing salient features of financial statements of subsidiaries, associate companies, or joint ventures. Now, type of processing will be as based on the parent form processing type. So, if your AOC4 is a STP, it has to be processed in STP mode. Similarly, your link filing will also be processed in STP. This is a new form altogether. This form can only be filed as a link filing form with an AOC-4 or AOC-4 NBFC if yes is selected in the field, whether the company has a subsidiary company as defined under Section 87 of Section 2 or has an associate or a joint venture as defined in under Clause 6 of Section 2 in parent form. The form can be filed if you have said yes for this particular section. Then the link filing for the OC1 will be opened in the V3 filing of AOC4 form or AOC4 NBFC. This form can be filed through online or offline mode. Then there are other enhancements which has been put in place, which is pre-filling of data and also compliances as per the company's accounts rules 2014. AOC2, this is the form for disclosure of particulars of contracts or arrangement entered into by company with related parties referred to in subsection 1 of section 188 of Companies Act 2013, including certain arm length transactions under force provision thereto. This is also a new form. Now, when this form will become applicable? This form will become applicable if in AOC4 or AOC4 NBFC, if yes is selected in the data field, whether any transactions entered with the related party in the parent form. If you select yes, then in that case your AOC2 form as a link filing will become applicable, and then you have to provide all these details in AOC2 form. This form can be filed through online or offline mode. There are other enhancements which is common in nature, that is pre-filling of data, repositioning of fields, additional data fields added, additional checks have been introduced, and also several business rules have been introduced in compliance of accounts companies account rules 2014. Extract of auditor's report. This is a new form which has been introduced in V3. This form can only be filed as a link filing with AOC4 or AOC4 NBFC. It is mandatory for all companies to file this form as a link file. This form can be filed through online or offline mode. Even though this form is being filed by the it is an extract of auditor's report. The signing of this form will be done by the director of the company. This form can be filed through offline or online mode, and there are other enhancements which I have discussed with you earlier. Extract of auditor's report consolidated. Now, when this form will become applicable? It's a new form which has been added in V3. This form can only be filed as a link filing with AOC4 or AOC4 NBFC if yes is selected, whether consolidated financial statements required or not. So, this form can be filed through online or offline mode. Very important thing which is to be mentioned out here is that whenever you are saying that you have to file consolidated financial statements, then even as an independent, if you are filing the AOC4 CFS form, then you have to link this form, you have to provide the information in this form, and you have to provide the auditor's report consolidated in that particular independent filing also. Extract of board report. This is a link filing, and the processing will be based on as the processing time of the parent form. This is a new form which has been added. This form can only be filed as link filing form with AOC4 or AOC4 NBFC, and it is mandatory for all the companies. Like if you are filing the AOC4 basic form, then in that case there will be three forms which will be filed together. One is the parent AOC4 form or NBFC, and extract of board report and extract of auditor report standalone is to be filed immediately for all the companies. So this form can also be filed through online or offline mode, and there are other enhancements like pre-filling of data, repositioning of fields, and several checks and balances as per the company's account rules 2014. Now CSR2 report on corporate social responsibility. This is a link filing based on the parent form processing type. For independent filing, it is a STP form. Now this form has been made web-based form. When independent filings will be applicable or eligible for the companies can do the independent filing for CSR2. Independent filing of CSR2 is allowed only for the years 2021, 21-22, 23-24, 23-24, or financial year 24-25. So if you have done the V2 filings, then in that case, if you are not able to do the CSR2 filing in V2, then you are allowed to do with the OC4 SRN number, you will be allowed to do the independent filing of CSR2 form. From financial year 24-25 onwards in V3, form is to be filed as link filing for AOC4 and AOC4 NBFC, AOC4 XBR. We have already seen a notification which has come up with the MCA where they have said that the independent filing of CSR2 can be done till 30th June. So that is why we have allowed for the independent filing of the form for financial year 24-25. That is, if you have already done your filings in V2 for your annual accounts, then you can proceed ahead and do the independent filing for CSR. This form can be filed through online or offline mode. That is, independent filing can be done through online mode or offline. However, independent filing can be done through online mode only. Added excel, so we have introduced, as we are all are aware, that CSR2 is a very difficult and very typical form and a very lengthy one. Here majorly very huge data is required to be provided by the company. So what we have done is, at major points or major fields of CSR2 form, like 7b, field number 7b 1 and 2, or field number 10b 1 and 2, we have introduced the excel functionalities in the form itself. So rather than putting each and every figure to all together, you can copy paste your information, you can provide the information, and be easier for the stakeholders to provide the information for the CSR2 form. Now there are other enhancements like prefilling of data and repositioning of fields. All these things, 7 and 8 point, are common in all the forms, so I'll not repeat it for the brevity of time. Now, AOC4 XBRL form, for XBRL form in respect of the financial statement and other documents with the registrar. The form is to be processed. Processing type has not changed. That, because it's a conditional STP form, and the processing will remain the same way as there in V2. Now, this form has been made web-based form. Now, the only link filing which is to be done for AOC4 XBRL, if CSR is applicable, then CSR2 will be filed as a link filing with AOC4 XBRL for the financial year starting from 24-25. We have also included the CSR applicability fields to enable CSR2 link filing. So that is a change which has been there. It is there in AOC4 XBRL forms. Few attachments have got removed, as required information would now be captured through link filing. And and we have also provided few new attachments. That is, we'll be capturing the signed financial statement from standalone and consolidated both in the form itself, which was missing in AOC4 XPR. Now, companies under liquidation and under CRP can also do the filing of the annual filing form, and the same can be signed by IRP RP liquidator. We have also provided a placeholder to capture the GNL1 SR. MGT-7. These are annual return other than OPCs and small companies. The form is to be processed in STP mode. This form can be filed through online or offline mode. We have introduced the Excel functionality at several fields, where user can download the Excel template and provide the information in Excel. Now, list of shareholders or debenture holders now be attached in the form of predefined Excel. Upload or new investor detail services, FO services, is being deprecated. List to be attached while submitting the form also. So I would request here, if the stakeholders have got any of the MGT-7 or 7 file which is pending for use for investor wise detail, you are requested to upload that information before or by 17th of June. Otherwise, since the forms, the services being deprecated in V3, so what will happen is that your form will be marked as NTBR and you may have to do the compliances once again. So that is why I request you to, if you have got any of the SRNs available which is pending for investor details, request you to provide those details ASAP. We have also added new declaration under section 9.4 of the company's management and administration rules, where the stakeholder has to be provide the information that which person will be responsible, which director or the KMP will be responsible for providing the information with regard to the beneficial ownership. New fields have been added to capture the name of the company and address as at the end of the financial year ending. We have added the new table to capture the gender-wise number of the shareholders. New attachment, that is photograph of the registered office of the company showing external bidding and name prominently visible, added into the form, and it is done to take care of the annual compliances of by the companies that okay they are there and their name they have got an office out. MGT-8 attachment has been removed. Now the required fields are getting captured and added within the form, including the DSC of the company secretary. Now, companies under liquidation or under CRP can do the filing. IRP liquidators can become one of the signatories for these forms, and there are other enhancements which has been introduced. MGT-7A, that is abridged annual return for OPC and small companies. The form shall be processed in STP mode. This form can be filed through online or offline mode, both ways. Excel functionality has been introduced where the user can download the template in Excel format and provide details in the Excel. List of the shareholders or debenture holders will now be attached in the form as a predefined Excel. We have added new field for declaration under Rule 9.4. Similar enhancements what is there in MGT-7. New fields are being added to capture the name of the company and address at the end of the financial year end date. New table has been captured to capture the gender-wise details of number of shareholders. Photograph and registered office of the company showing external bidding and name prominently visible has been added. Company will be signed by under liquidation or under CRP can be signed by IRP, RP and liquidator. Other enhancements are similar to what I have already provided you in the previous slides. Now, as I told you at the beginning of the PPT, that we have the limitation and expectation that what should be the size limit of the attachments and what are the exceptions to it. Now, list of shareholders and debenture holders, Excel attachment for MGT-7, the size has been increased to 300 MB, where the stakeholders can provide 15 files of 20 MB each generated. However, the generated PDF will not have the list of shareholders or debenture holders Excel as an attachment. However, our data uploaded in these Excels will be stored in the system for post validation. So, whenever your PDF is getting generated, you will not be able to see the PDF which got the list of shareholders or debenture holders, because the overall all size of the form cannot be beyond 10 MB. Whatever information you have provided while uploading the form, they'll go and sit in the database, but it will not be visible for you. Will not be possible for you to have a look into that data. 2 MB size limit of each attachment has been removed in the following forms. Attachments can be uploaded beyond 2 MBs. However, the overall limit size, including all attachments, should not be beyond 10 MB. So we have got that requirement that our attachment size is very big. We cannot complete it in 2 MB. So what we have done is that individual size of your attachments in AOC-4, AOC-4 XBRL, AOC-4 NBFC, CFS, AOC-4 NBFC CS. So the size of attachments can be up to 10 MB. It need not have to individual size need not have to be 2 MB. All other forms, attachments and form size limit would continue as normal process. Each attachment size is restricted to 2 MB and overall size including all attachment is 10 MB. Now I will tell you the details of what all link filing scenarios which are there in AOC-4 form. Though I have already detailed it out, but a snapshot of what I have discussed, because it's an important announcement. Now, AOC form 1 will be applicable if you have selected yes in the field whether the company has a subsidiary as defined under clause 87 of Section 2 or has an associate company or a joint venture as defined under Clause 6 of Section 2. It was not available in V2. Similarly, for AOC2 also, applicable in case yes is selected in data field whether any transaction entered by related party. It was not available as a link filing in V2. AOC4 CFS applicable in case yes is selected whether consolidated financial statements required or not of form AOC4. Yes, only when you are doing the independent filing. Form CSR2 applicable in case Section 135 or report for unspent CSR amount is selected in field CSR applicability pursuant to a provisional unadopted financial statement is not selected in the field nature of financial statements, and parent form is filed for financial year 24-25 onwards. It was there as an independent filing only. Extract of auditor report standalone applicable on non cases. It was not available in V2. Extract of auditor report consolidated applicable in yes is selected in the field whether consolidated financial statements required or not. It was not applicable or not available in V2. Extract of board report, as I told you earlier also, that extract of auditor's report standalone and extract of board report are applicable in all the cases. It was not available in V2. Link filing scenarios for parent firm when your parent firm is AOC4 XBRL. It is CSR2 is applicable in case section 135 or report for unspent CSR amount is selected in CSR applicability pursuant to, and provisional unadopted financial statement is not selected in field nature of financial statements, and parent form is filed for financial year 2024-25 onwards. AOC4 CFS is filed as standalone. Then extract of auditor report consolidated is required to be attached as a link file. Parent form AOC4 NBFC CFS, that is extract of consolidated auditor report consolidated if you are filing a AOC4 CFS as an independent file. Now there are Excel functionalities which has been introduced in various sections of form. In CSR2, as I told you earlier, it has been provided in 7B1, 7B2, 10B, where the number of ongoing projects for the financial year, 10C3, that is number of ongoing projects for the financial year, 10C4, number of other than ongoing projects for the financial year, field number 11, that is number of the CSR projects, and 12 is capital assets acquired during CSR. Now, AOC1 associates and JVs, whenever I'm taking the subsidiary details, then we are required to have there is a functionality to attach the information in Excel format. Similarly, for the contracts at arm length and contracts not at arm length in AOC2 form can be filed can be filed in the is to be filed in the Excel functionality which is available in the form. Extract of board report section 186, if it is being provided by you, then in that case there is a functionality to attach the information in the Excel format. In MGT-7 and 7A, we have introduced the Excel format at various places, like particulars of holding subsidiary and associate companies, including joint ventures, members class, requisition, NCLT court orders, convene meetings, board meetings, committee meetings, and details of shares or debenture transfers since closure of last financial year. Then list of shareholders, which is as attachment. The Excel functionality has been included in all these particular scenarios in MGT7. Similarly, for MGT7A also, particulars of associate companies including joint ventures not applicable for OTC obviously. Members class or requisition NCLT court convene meetings. Here we have introduced the Excel functionality. Board meetings, attachment of list of shareholders or debenture holders, details details of shares or debenture transfers. Huh. Transfer since closure of the last financial year end date, that is required to be that can be provided as an attachment in Excel form. Now I'll make you walk through the rest of the forms, that is audit and cost audit reports and other forms. ADT1, the form shall be processed in STP mode. Form has been made web-based. Drop-down option enhanced to include appointment, auditor appointed by central government, and appointment or reappointment by CAP in the nature of appointment. Separate fields got added for the auditor form and the membership number of the auditor signing the balance sheet of the company. Existing V2 had a merge scenario, that is why we were not able to extract the information for any of the checking the number of the signings done by the firm or the individual stakeholders. New field has been added to capture SRN of INC 28, that is the notice of order of tribunal for appointment of auditor. So earlier we were seeking the information within the form or an attachment was required to be provided for the court order. However, since you have already done the filing of INC 28, then you can provide the INC 28 SRN, and if the any user has to see or have a look into the information, they can click into the SRN and get the required detail from there. A new field which has been added, that is whether the recommendation of audit committee constituted under section 177 of Companies Act 2013 has been considered by the board of directors before the appointment. The information with regard to that can be provided in this particular field. Companies under liquidation or under CRP can also file this form, and the same can be signed by IRP-RP liquidator. Business rule has been introduced to check if the auditor being appointed does not hold appointment in more than 20 companies. We have removed few attachments, added new attachments, and we have also provided other enhancements also. ADT2 form, we do not have too much of enhancement for this particular form. This form has been made web-based. The firm registration number and membership number of the auditor got split into two different fields, and similarly there are another enhancements which is there for all the forms. 83.3 form, the form has been made web-based. Separate fields got added for the auditor form and membership number of the auditor signing the balance sheet of the company. Existing V2 has the merge section, so there was always a problem with regard to extracting the data for the validation purposes. So this has been now splitted into two parts. And there are other enhancements which are like refilling of data, repositioning of fields, additional data fields added, and additional checks have been introduced. ADT4. This is a form which is to be filed by the auditor for to the central government. Now this form shall be processed in non-STP mode. Earlier, this form was a physical form, and it always had a provision to be filed by the statutory auditors. Now, cost accountants and the secretarial auditor will also be allowed to fill in this form and submit it online through web function. Web form can be has been made web based. So now this is how the form has been created in V3. Now there are other enhancements which I will not go into it further. CRA2 form which shall be processed in STP mode. The processing type of any of the form has not changed. So the processing times remain same. The form has been made web-based. Now there are also a drop-down of nature of appointment, intimation for appointment has been enhanced to include additional option fi- filing due to addition of new products and services. So if there is existing auditor which is there and you want to increase any products and services for that particular person, then that can be done, or a new auditor can also be appointed. The fields have got bifurcated into different sections based on nature of appointment, along with addition in new fields like sin of demerged company or amalgamated company. In V2, it was coming as a say in same field only. So that is why for extraction purposes or for analysis purposes, it was creating an issue. So now the field sins will be captured as per the choice, as per the requirement of the rule. There is a business rule which got added that the cost auditor being appointed does not hold appointment in more than 20 companies, and other enhancement has been introduced. CRA4, the form shall be processed in SGP mode. We have now there's a the if you are enhancing your financial year or your date of holding the AGN, then in that case you can do that for AOC-4 form. But P2 there was no functionality to increase the period for filing for CRA4 form. Now we will be capturing the extension of AGM detail in GNL1 SRN. So subsequently, the filing for CRA4 will also be increased as you extend the date of aging. Now I'll make you walk through the other 7 forms, that what are the enhancements which has taken place in that particular other forms. CRL1 form, it's a STP form. This form, the period of filing this form has already been surpassed. But however, if some of the companies still want to go ahead and proceed ahead with the filing of this particular form, this form has been made web-based. The subsidiary details, which was earlier to be provided as FO services, now since I told you that FO services have been deprecated for all kind of scenarios in V2. So similarly, here also it will get deprecated. If you have got any forms which are lying pending due to this, so please make sure that you provide this details before 17th of June. Now, subsidiaries details are required to be taken in the form itself, and there are the other enhancements like refilling of data, repositioning of fields, and what I've already told you previously. MGT-14, this form shall be processed in STP mode. Form has been made web-based. We have added financial year to which the AGM relates. We got it added in this particular MGT-15 because earlier we were not capturing any of the detail that up to which financial year, for which financial year you are submitting this particular form. This form is to be signed by company secretary of the company also. The company under liquidation or under CRP can do the filings of these forms, and IRP liquidator will be one of the signees of this form. Then other enhancements, checks and balances as per company's management and administration rule has been introduced. GNL form, which has been to be filed by for various purposes. It is a form why it has been moved along with the annual filing forms, because one of the purpose which is there in the form is for the extension of your AGM date. Now, since this form has been made web based, this and because of this particular purpose which is there, this form is being moved along with the annual filing forms. Now, we have added new fields like to take up the director identification number or PAN account number for the signatories, which of other applicant details has been added if you are filing the form for the compounding purposes. Period of default and other relevant fields got added for the compounding of offences purposes. New fields like due date of AGM of holding the AGM and date till which extension sought, or for extension of AGM purpose. If you are choosing the purpose as extension of AGM, then we have added 2 new fields, that is due date of holding AGM and date till which extension has been sought. In V2, we never had that functionality. It was only on the back office user used to decide that whether the extension is to be given for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months maximum. So that is what were done by the back office. But however, if you have already got a GNL1 approved, then please rest assured that whenever you are providing the GNL1 SRN, that auto get we have already migrated that information into the V3 system, and whenever you are providing that SRN, the system will take it up. So in V3, when GNL1 is required to be filed, then the 2 fields which will be there, that is due date of holding of AGM and date till which extension has been sought by the stakeholder. CSR1, it is for the registration of entities for undertaking CSR activities. This form has been made web-based. Now, for type of existing entity, Part 1 Section 8 companies, because these are also Section 8 companies, has been included. They can also go ahead and proceed ahead with the filing of CSR1 form, because Part 1 Section 8 companies are also Section 8 companies from Companies Act and prospective. Then other enhancements like pre-filling of data, repositioning of fields, additional data fields added, and additional checks have been introduced. INC 22A, which was an active tagging company, that if you have done the filing for that, then you will be an active compliant company. Though this form, the period of this form had already expired, but for the companies which are non-active, which have got tagging of being non-active due to non-filing of INC 22A, can proceed ahead with the filing of this form. There is no enhancement along there are enhancements like it has become web based and repositioning of fields have taken place. So this is what the INC22A is all about. Complaint form, it is to be processed in non-STP mode only. The form has been made web-based. Now complaint form in V2 there were two type of complaint forms. One was the investor complaint and serious investor complaint. Now both these forms has got merged into this one form only. What will happen is that whenever you are providing, either making it as investor complaint or serious investor complaint, then you have to check the update the relevant fields. On the basis of that, system will automatically put that whether it is a serious complaint or it is a normal investor complaint. So other enhancement is like refilling of data, repositioning of fields, additional data fields got added, and additional checks have been introduced in the form. Leave one form. This is a form for submission of prospectus with the registrar for the companies which are not required to do the listing, or for a specific region they have want to do the listing. So this form shall be processed in STP mode. Now the form, it has why there's going to be a form, because it's like it was there in V2, even though recently developed form, but in V3 it has become made it has been made web based, and there are other enhancements which are there, like prefilling of data, repositioning of fields, additional data fields added, and additional checks and balances have been introduced. With this, we are done with the enhancements part. But I would like to make you go through the various notification which has been issued, and I'll take a few minutes of yours to show you that what all, only except for four forms which are required to be notified. Majorly, all forms got notified by NCA, and the notifications are available in the notification in the what's new, and it can be also be seen in the notification part of the NCA ebook. I'll make you walk through one few of the forms which has been recently introduced. So this is a AOC-1 form, which is the statement containing salient features of the financial statements of subsidiaries, associate companies, or joint ventures. Now, name of the company will get auto-filled from the parent form. Then the part A is a subsidiary companies, which contains the details of subsidiaries on the basis of number of subsidiaries. Here and block 1, the Excel functionality will start working, and all the details which are coming in this particular section will be filled, which is required to be filled in the Excel format. And from filling purposes, we have seen that it is much more easier to provide the data in the Excel format than rather than in any other format. So similarly, then there are other number of subsidiaries which are yet to commence the operations, and number of subsidiaries which has been liquidated or ceased to be a subsidiary during the year. Then Part B contains the associates and joint ventures. These are statements pursuant to Section 129(3) of Companies Act related to associate companies and joint ventures. After you provide the number here in field number 4, the Excel will get downloaded, and you have to provide all this information whatever has been asked into the form into that Excel template, and after you finish off upload the Excel, then the information will be provided in this format in PDF. Then number of associates and joint ventures which are yet to commence operations, and number of associates or joint ventures which have been liquidated or have ceased to be associate or joint venture during the year will be provided within the form itself. Then there is a provision of providing the optional attachment. Then the director, manager, secretary, CO, CFO, IRP, RP liquidator are required to be filling this form. So they are required to affix their DSC, right, and it has to be certified by the practicing professional. Then AOC2 form, which is I will make you walk through only to the new form which has been introduced. I'll not make you walk through the entire AOC4 form or AOC4 NBFC, because reason being they are lengthy forms, and one because you have already had a download those for that particular form, so I'll not make you walk through those forms. AOC2 form is for providing the information of number of contracts or arrangement or transaction not at arm length basis. After you provide the number here, the Excel will be downloaded and you will be able to provide all this information in the Excel itself. Then there's second field, which is the details of material contracts or arrangement or transactions at arm length basis. Here, after you provide the number, the Excel will be downloaded and you can provide the information into the form itself. Now let me make you walk through the quickly through the AOC-4 auditors form standalone. So CSR2, it is a similar form the way it was there, but Excel functionalities had been introduced as I told you in the previous slides in field some numbers 7, 7.1, 7.2, and then 10, 4, 3, 4 and 5, and 11 and 12. Now this is the extract of board report, which is a recently introduced form. Name of the company will be provided in the form. Then whatever your web address that is required to be provided. Then the first question which is required, that whether the company is an OPC or a small company as an at the end of the financial year. On the basis of yes and no, whatever sections, that is 8 or 8A, whichever is applicable to you will be required to ask. Otherwise, it will be disabled for OPC and small companies. Now, number of board meetings which is to be held, committee meetings which is to be held, then director responsibility statements, all this information is required to be provided. And then there is a auditor remark. The auditor remark, whether it has been qualified and whatever the director's comment on that is required to be provided out there. Similarly, secretarial auditor remark is also required to be provided within the form itself. The new section which got introduced is section 186, which was not there previously. Then number of the transactions which are there is required to be provided. Then this CSR related details are required to be provided for the company, which for which the CSR activities were applicable and prior to 2021. Here, if you are doing the filing for prior years, then you are required to provide these CSR related details. However, for other companies, if even if there is an applicability, then they are required to provide that the details in CSR2 has been provided information provided to you earlier. Then extract of auditor's report standard. This is the name of the company. Then what is the opinion of the auditor of the company? Then basis of the this opinion. Then emphasis of the matter and key audited matters and other information can be provided. Then number of qualification, reservation, or adverse remark or disclaimer which is required to be provided, that can be provided in this particular form. Auditors then. So, 6B field is important here. Whether the company is under audit is whether CARO is applicable to company, yes or no. If you will choose yes, then you are required to provide the information in the subsequent table which is there. Otherwise, if you say no, then this field will be disabled. This is all from the form side. I'll again come back to the to my PPT. Now, I would like to share with you the that how the e-filing since till now we have talked about all the of online filings. I would like to make you walk through the filings which is to be done through offline filing. I'll tell you very basic functionalities and how it is to be done. You have to go to the company NCA services, then you have to go to the company filings, then annual filings. In that, you have to choose AOC-4, financial statements and other documents, offline filings, right? And which all forms which are applicable for offline are available for offline utility. One is AOC-4, that is all applicable link form will be available for offline utility. AOC-4 NBFC, all applicable link forms are available. AOC-4 CFS if filed independently, extract of auditor report consolidated. AOC-4 NBFC CFS if filed independently, extract of auditors reports consolidatedly. And MGT-7 and 7. There are no link filing for MGT-7 and 7A, so that is why we have not implemented it. Now, what will be the process of filing the AOC-4 offline? You'll go and you'll choose that AOC-4 offline filing. Then what? Sorry. After you go to that, you will get a form like this. After you go, you will find a form like this, form AOC-4, where you have to provide the journal. So you say in offline, why am I required to provide this information in web form when we are saying it when we are saying that it is a offline file. So friends, we are required to provide this information because on this basis, you will get a Excel downloaded into your system, which will be pre-filled with the information which you have provided in. So be very cognizant of the fact that whenever you are doing the web filing for this particular offline filing, then you should be very sure that whatever details you have provided is correct, because on the basis of that, your form is getting your Excel is getting generated, and you have to proceed ahead with that file. Now, corporate, you have to provide the corporate author identification number, authorized capital of the company, number of members as on the date of filing, the name of the company and address. All that is going to get pre-filled. Now, financial year period between this to this, date of board report, meetings in which financial statements are approved, nature of financial statements, that what is required, what is the nature, that what is the purpose of that particular fund. And if you're choosing it for revision, what is the reason for the nature of revision, whether you are revising the financial statement or director report, both. If both you are doing, then you have to provide that choose that in the drop down. Now, then nature of revision also, then whether adopted in AGM, the date of AGM in which financial statements were adopted, SRN of form INC 28, SRN of AOC-4 if you are filing a revision, then date of order of the competent authority, then details of director, manager, secretary and CEO, CFO is required to be provided by you in this particular case. Then date of board directors meeting in which board report referred under section 134 was approved. Then details of director, IRP, RP, liquidator who has signed the board report is required to be provided. All this information is to be provided diligently. Then if then we'll be asking a question whether the company is a subsidiary company or not. Whether it is a subsidiary company or not, then in that then if you choose yes, on the basis of that you will get a panel generated where OC1 will be shown to you as a offline file. Then whether the company has a subsidiary as defined under section 187, then on the basis of this information your Excel will get generated. Then auditors detailed, then SRN of ADT1, then whatever information you have provided in your ADT1 will get pre-filled in this particular form. General information with regard to the type of industry, whether Schedule 3 is applicable, consolidated financial statement required, complete place of maintenance of computer service server if you are providing keeping the information in any other place other than in online mode also. Particulars of service providers, then disclosure about the related party transaction. On the basis of this yes and no, your AOC2 will be generated. Whether any transaction entered with related party. Then there is an auditor report in case government company whether CAG is applicable or not. Yes, no, not applicable. Then these questions are asked. Then reporting of CSR responsibility. Then you have to provide that what are the reasons for you to do that. On the basis of this, your CSR2 will be shown you in your offline mode. Now, whether secretarial audit is applicable, yes or no, then on the basis of that, you'll be able to provide this data. You will save this and you will submit it. So, then AOC-4 CFS forms for filing consolidated balance sheets and other records. This information is also required to be provided if that is applicable to you. Then you will save it and submit. So I'll tell you what will happen. Once you save and submitted the parent form, which you have provided earlier, save and submit, Excel will get generated and download like this. In this case, in my case, since I have provided certain information with regard to SIM, it's going to get pre-filled. The address and everything get pre-filled. The financial year period get pre-filled. Then whatever information you have provided in web form is going to get pre-filled. Okay, right? Whatever directors and all that. Then you proceed ahead with the filling of the form and providing the information. Whatever data which is being provided by you in the previous web form is getting pre-filled, right? And here you can proceed ahead with the providing zeros. You can copy paste. You can do all the functionalities which is there. So, the financial parameters, there are multiple scenarios where you have to provide the financial parameters. If there is a zero which is there, then you can provide zeros at all the places. And once you create it, then you'll provide this information, and then your this Excel gets submitted. Now, what am I supposed to do? Like, if you have provided all this information, on the basis of information you have provided applicable to AOC-4 CFS, the form, and I'm coming to the web form once again, asking for the number of comments. So here we are not taking details, we are only taking the numbers, because on the basis of that, we are required to generate the Excel, right? Then AOC2 details has also been captured. All these very basic details are being captured through this particular web form. Extract of audio applicable to you or not, all these things you'll provide and you'll keep on submitting the form information. Similarly, for extract of auditor's report consolidated, it is you are required to provide the information and you'll choose submit. The last form is with regard to the board report. Disclosure with regard to the meetings of the board meeting, then whether the company is an OPC at the end of the closure of financial year end date. On the basis of yes and no, the applicability of providing the information in Rule 8 or 8A will be will be provided by you. Then once you submit the entire thing, you'll get a notification stating that Excel generation is in progress. At this point in time, the Excel which I've shown to you will get generated and it'll come to you. Once you fill it, once you get the Excel, then you'll download that Excel and you will provide this information, right? And once you are done with the information, you will upload the Excel which we got generated. In my case, we have created this Excel along with the board report and auditor's report. It'll show on the you are required to upload that information, and after you provide the information, you are required to proceed ahead, and after proceeding ahead, you will get the detailed information. You will get the information of the if any discrepancy is there in any of the form which have been provided by you. Then you'll proceed ahead with the providing of attachments correlated to all the forms like AOC-4, AOC-4 CFS, AOC-1, AOC-2, CSR-2, extract of auditor's report, extract of auditor's report consolidated, extract of board report. all these information you are required to provide. Then the system will generate the project ID if you have filed the CSR2 form. Then you'll submit, and then the affixing of DSC and some uploading will be done through Webo. So this is all for the offline purposes. Now, there are certain notifications which are very important for you to note down. The final set of 38 forms, including 13 annual filing forms, 6 audit forms, and audit or the cost audit forms, will go live on 14th of July 2025 at 12 a.m. on the NCA-B3 portal. Important dates which are required to remember is company B2 e-filings will be disabled from 18 June 2025 12 a.m. Then offline payments via later in V2 portal will, you must have seen that it has stopped. It gets stopped from 8th of June from 12 a.m. And NCA V3 will be unavailable for filing between 9 July to 13th of July 11:59. SRN pending for upload at investor-wise details, subsidiary details must be submitted by 17th of June 2025. Friends, this is a very important date because if you do not provide that, then your forms which are lying in that statuses in the MC system will get marked as rejected, and then the company will be shown as non-compliant. Then one important aspect is that you are requested to create your user ID, upgrade or merge your existing V2 ID on the NCA V3 portal under business user category for you to continue with your filings in V3. Now, with regard to, though it is not relating to the subject matter, but it is very important for everybody to take note of user IDs and application history scenarios. What will happen? If you have a user ID in V2 ID and this V3 user ID created using the upgrade V2 user ID functionality, no action will be required from users and V3 application history will display all V2 forms and V3 forms seamlessly. User has V2 ID and had created new V3 ID in V3, then merged the V2 ID with V3 ID using the merge user ID functionality. Then no action will be required from the user's end. Once all V2 IDs are migrated to V3, a batch job will be executed to transfer all SRNs linked to V2 ID to V3 ID. User has V2 ID created prior to V3 launch and had created a new business user ID in V3. Users are required to use merge V2 ID functionality in V3 profile page to move all SRNs to the V3 ID. Friends, if you do not proceed ahead and do that, whatever filings which are done by you and have not been moved to V3, you will not be able to view those forms in your application history. For you to view those applications, those forms in your application history, you have to merge your V2 ID with V3. User has created new user ID in V3 and V2 ID are created based on the V3 ID and file forms in V2. Users are required to use merge V2 ID functionality in V3 profile page to move all SRNs to V3 ID. And one more thing, that if you've got multiple V2 IDs and you want that to be merged to V3 ID, as of now it is not there. You have to go and create a ticket for yourself. Then only you'll be able to merge, get your user IDs along with your user IDs and password. You have to submit that to the help desk. Then only it will be taken care of. And one more thing, that if you do not have a user ID, if you have got a business user ID in V2 basis your DSC, then you are requested to raise a ticket to F4, downgrade yourself as a registered user, and then you proceed ahead with the upgrade of your user ID to V2, V3. Then you'll be able to do that. Otherwise, it will not be a possibility as of now. This is all from my side. Thank you very much for patiently listening to the entire thing. Ma'am, we are done.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm just checking if there are any questions so we can take up the questions of the participants. There's one question from the member where they are asking, is there any provision to revise AOC-4 and MGT-7 for any typographical errors?
Ma'am, as per the functionality, there is nothing, no functionality as of now to provide the revised AOC4. For revised is applicable as per section 130 and 131 of the Companies Act. Otherwise, for AOC4, there is no provision for filing the revised. For any, if there is any defect which has been created in the form or any typographical error has been committed by the stakeholder.
Shima, you say that document will mark defective as per Rule 10, sub Rule 6 of the.
Right, sir.
That you convey.
So if you have done some mistake while filing the form, then you can proceed ahead and approach the jurisdictional ROC to get the form marked as defective, and then they can proceed ahead with the filing of new AOC4 form.
I would also request Seema ma'am, if you could just announce, again the release dates and when the V2 will be down to the participants once again, it will be really helpful to them.
Okay, ma'am. As I told you earlier, that from 18 June onwards, the V2 functionality will not be available for any type of filings. For V3 filings also, the system will be closed.
Shima, you can log into our FO portal and so display your screen because there is a detailed advisory that you can show to all the members.
Okay, sir. Okay, I'll do that, sir. So, ma'am, just give me a second. I'm just logging into the system. Ma'am, again, I'm sharing my screen. Just let me know once it's visible. Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So, to facilitate implementation of these 38 forms in MCA portal, company filings on V2 portal will be disabled from 18 June 2025, 12 a.m. Thus, all the stakeholders, so this is an advisory which has been given by MCA. The stakeholders are advised to ensure that the no SRNs are under pending payment or resubmission required. Offline payments in V2 Pay using Pay Later option has already been stopped from 8 June 2025. Therefore, you are requested to make the payments for these forms in V2 through online mode only, that is credit card, debit card, or net banking. In view of the upcoming launch, V3 portal will not be available from 9 July 12 a.m. to 13 July 11:59 p.m. Accordingly, stakeholders are advised to plan and submit current V3 forms before 9 July 2025, as there will be no waiver of fees or extension or resubmission period. If the due date or resubmission date fall within the mentioned downtime period, that is 9 July 2012 a.m. to 13 July 2025, 11:59 p.m. Stakeholders are advised to create user IDs, upgrade existing V2 ID, merge V2 ID in V3 system under business user category, and associate the DSC if not already done. Stakeholders are also requested to check the SRNs that are currently pending with the status pending for upload of investor details, pending for subsidiary details, and upload the details by using service available on the MCA portal. Upload these details of security holders, depositors, and update subsidiary details by 17 June 2025, failing which SRN will be marked under NTBR status. So this is the major update which with the stakeholders are requested to take care when they are going through the new requirements. Ma'am?
One more question is there. Is there any change in the late filing fee or penalty structure of AOC-4 and MGT-7 under V3?
Sir, Mishra sir?
So there is a circular. Policy is in the process of issuing the circular. It will be issued soon. They are giving 30 to 45 days fees relaxation without additional fee.
Okay.
That circular will be uploaded very soon in the website.
Thank you, sir. One more question has come, which is, can AOC-4 be filed if ADT-1 for appointment of auditor is still pending for approval in the new system?
It is a STP document, madam. Once it is filed, it will be automatically approved. However, it is not. It cannot be pending because it is a STP document.
Seema ma'am, one more request has come. Can you just brief about the precaution should be taken while using the PDF offline utility of new forms once again? 2-3 members have requested for this.
Ma'am, we'll be sharing the PPT with the stakeholders. So if you want,
Okay.
I can. We'll be sharing the. So we'll be sharing with the institutes. But if there is there any specific functionality, like in the sense, do you want me to go through the process once again?
Not once again, just you can brief the major precautions they need to take care of. That okay, actually 2-3 members have asked for it. So I would also like to inform members we will be sharing this presentation as LTI team has mentioned. We'll share this with all the stakeholders who have registered today for the webinar.
So, ma'am, the basic precaution which we have to do is that whenever we are filling the web form, which is associated with the AOC-4 offline filing, then what we have to do is that whatever information is being provided by us should be correct. So, on the base, because on the basis of the information which you are providing in the web form of the parent form, the subsequent link filings are also getting created and also being generated by the system, and that is a pre-filled data. So be very cautious while you are providing the information in the web form associated with the offline filing form. So it'll enable your link filings, it'll disable your link filings. So suppose, because what will happen is that in case you have provided not provided certain information in the parent form and you want to change something in the parent form, then whatever filings you have done earlier for the parent form as well as the link filing form will get washed off, like in the sense that we will get a empty excel once again. However, if you want to make the changes in any of the link form, supposedly if you are doing the you want to change the web form associated, you want to provide the details of 100 subsidiaries and later on you come to know that there are 120 subsidiaries, then you can go and make the changes in the link form file. Then the changes which will be required only in the link filing form. However, whenever you're doing the filing for the AOC-4 offline filing form, then in that case you have to be very sure that whatever information you are providing in the parent form should be correct, because whatever work you have done in creating or generating the Excel will go for a toss if you are not if you have provided some incorrect information. That is the request I will tell all the stakeholders, and to take a careful this thing while using the AOC-4 the offline functionality.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this. With this, I would tell all the stakeholders that we will be sharing the presentation with you about this. And in case of any questions you have, you can always drop us a mail at clcgc@icai.in. Thank you all for joining us today's webinar on stakeholder awareness on the annual filing of revised forms. We are grateful to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs for sharing these valuable insights on the revised compliance framework and to the technical team for addressing the technical aspects of filing the forms. A big thank you to all the participants for your active engagement and continued trust in ICS initiative. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
एंड कर दीजिए।